Hey, I found a cool place to go. We can run or we can take it slow. Won't you come with me? Completely off topic. Mama said I never make it big. Well, Mama, I don't really feel that way. Won't you come with me? Completely off topic. Oh, ain't it nice to be completely off topic?
Welcome to Completely Off Topic with Susan and Meg, where we talk to local female artists who create their own work. And we're so thrilled today. Joining us is Ali DeRegt.
Hello.
And she is a wonderful and fabulous puppeteer, playwright, actor, writer, art genius. And she also can make homemade marshmallows. Mm-hmm. And so I was wondering, can you talk us through that process?
It's mostly sugar.
Okay.
So you have to like boil the sugar so that it's hot, and then you add gelatin, and then you just like put it in a mixer or do a hand mixer for like 10 minutes until it gets fluffy.
And then
you put it in a tray, and then you can add flavoring to it while it's mixing. So you can make peppermint, you could make vanilla, you could make, those are the only two flavors of marshmallows actually.
that you've done. Okay.
Yeah.
How do you get it to be square or cubed?
So you throw it in a mixer, and then once it's like fluffy, it's still malleable for a certain amount of time, and then you transfer it to a tray, and it just goes into like a brownie tray, and then you just cut it in squares. Oh. And then you roll it in like powdered sugar or something to keep them from sticking to each other.
Huh. You learn something new every day. We're good. Thanks so much for joining us. That was great. No, I'm just kidding.
Bye.
So are you Calgarian?
Yes, I'm originally a lesbian.
Lesbian?
Yes, I lived in Lethbridge for the first 23 years of my life, and then I moved here.
Is that what you call it, a lesbian?
It's what I call it because I think it's funny.
Lethbridgian?
Lethbridgerian.
Lethbridgite?
Yeah.
Lethbridgerian.
I prefer lesbian.
Lesbian, yeah.
It's easier.
Yeah.
And I kind of like it almost has a Spanish flavor, like from Spain.
Oh, yeah. It's got that like Ibiza kind
Yeah.
of feel.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Okay, so you were there, and then you went to university there, and then you came here, or did you come here before and then went to school? And
No,
then,
I did my undergrad at the U of L, and then I came here, and I was here for since now, and then I did a quick 2 years across the pond to do my master's. I was in London. I went to the Royal Central School for Speech and Drama.
Oh.
Yes.
I love that response. Like,
It's really the only appropriate response. It's such a pretentious name.
it's like also as like Canadians, we're like, whoa, that is though like super fancy though.
So fancy.
Yeah.
I was at my son's, my oldest two sons are in high school, and they had their band concert, which is like a big deal because they're with Western High School. It's like a very good program. And so they're at the Jack Singer Concert Hall, and the MCs are the most articulate people I have ever heard speak into a microphone ever. And I'm like, are you human? Like, they just are like dressed perfectly, and they speak so perfectly the whole time that I was like, I was annoyed, and then I laughed, and then I was annoyed again. But that's what, that just makes me, I'm like, who are these people that speak so perfectly in Canada?
Everybody's got a thing.
Yeah, so you went across the pond to speak perfectly.
Well, I went across the pond to get a degree in devised theater. So I was mostly throwing yogurt at people.
On the street?
No, in my very expensive studios, which we were asked to not be in anymore.
Because of the yogurt?
Because of the yogurt.
Were you trying to make marshmallows?
No. And I will clarify, I wasn't one of the projects that was throwing yogurt.
Okay.
But there was a project that was about, I don't know, something. capitalism probably.
Oh yeah, of course.
And there was a lot of food on a table, and then everyone got naked and then threw yogurt at each other, and it ended up on the like curtains of the studio. And so
That would be a very interesting feeling. For one, being naked in front of everybody would be already like a weird feeling in your body, but then to have throwing yogurt, but then also it hitting your body in front of people. Receiving the yogurt. Receive the yogurt.
yeah.
It's an acting technique. Receive the yogurt. Huh, and what did you do for your devised thing out there?
I did a few projects. One of them was like a deconstruction of the femme fetal sort of trope. And so that one, the end of it, I was peeling a hard-boiled egg with stiletto heels on my hands.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And do you find that the dating is way different in England than it is here?
I have been in a long-term relationship, and so when I was
sorry.
across the pond, we were doing long distance. So I did not date, but I did try and get Bumble because I was like, I don't know how to make friends, and they have Bumble BFF.
Yeah,
and
oh, yeah.
it never.
Couldn't make friends.
No,
Like, it's weird.
Nobody's interested in Bumble for friends.
And right.
I feel like it's just expats, right? Like people who aren't from there use that.
I don't know, maybe. I didn't spend enough time on it to.
You were like, I gotta get back to this yogurt stuff.
I have to peel eggs with heels.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what is the thing from being in the UK? Because you were there for about 18 months or 2 years almost?
I was there for 1 full year, and then I came back for the summer, and then my second year got interrupted by COVID.
Yes, I remember that.
Yes. So I left the UK like March 23rd, 2020.
Right.
I got like the second last flight out of the country.
Holy moly, I remember that. So what is the thing of your time there? What is the thing that you like loved about England that you were like, oh, we should steal that for here?
Ugh, the public transit system's amazing. It's so good.
It's so good.
Not being burdened by a car, just being able to go to a bar and get drunk in the middle of the day and not have to worry about driving yourself home. It's so good.
And there's pubs everywhere. Like
Yes.
when I was 17, my family, we went to England for Christmas. My dad's from Guyana, but he went to boarding school in England, like from like 11 to 18. And so we were going to England to see his home, like we're in Bournemouth where he was, but we stayed in London where my uncle had a place. And we would go to the pub, and I was 17. We'd go to the pub, and I would drink with my family, and I'd only known drinking in the bushes with your friends. So drinking in a public place with my family, I was like, I am like one of you.
So grown
I'm part of
up.
society.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very cool.
Yeah, it's a big pub culture, but it's a sprint there. It's not a marathon. So on Fridays you go for a cheeky pint at like 4:30, and then you are home by 7 for dinner.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you go out after dinner, but I don't.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. Ollie, who is my boyfriend, he is English, and he will he'll organize like brewskis with the fellas kind of thing, and that's what he does.
Yeah.
He
Cheeky pint?
goes at 3 and then home by dinner.
Yes.
I
It's very
thought
civilized.
I thought that was a airspace
I feel like
mechanic thing. Now I know it's
a
an
British
English
thing.
I think
Yeah.
we just call it happy hour?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like we just stay and
Yes.
then barf.
Yes.
Because then you eat
Yes.
there. 'Cause you're
Happy
like, "Why
hour
go home and cook
extends."
now?"
Yeah.
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 I did find I lived in England for a bit. My ex-husband's English, and living there, I found the culture. It was up in the Northeast, so not London, where I think London you're a bit more fit. There's more walking. There's more things to go do. Whereas in the Northeast, we drove to the pub, drank, ate non-nutritional food.
Yes.
Very delicious non-nutritional food.
Yeah.
And then we would drink more, and it's like heavy pints too, right? No carbonation, heavy pints. And then we would drive home, or or cab home or whatever. And it was like there was no activity at all involved. It was a lot of drinking and heavy food. Beautiful place, wonderful people. I feel like I have to say that, sorry.
It
was so beautiful.
War on
It was
us.
beautiful, especially in May. Amazing, beautiful. But I had a point. Oh, it was just, I also found the culture was very, my stepmom would stay home and cook. Like she might come for a drink, but she'd go home, cook, and then she'd watch Coronation Street or something and just stay home. Whereas the men might come home and eat, but then they're going back to the pub. And then they were there for the night. And I found like it was when we were first together, I was like, I am not doing this. I am not staying at home while you go to the pub every night. I can't live in England if this is what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Because I didn't like that to me. But then now I see the gift that it is, as in like they go to the pub and you have your space to do what you want. And say you're watching Coronation Street, whether you are or not, just leave the house.
Yeah.
And then, you just have your space, which I get now.
I mean, I had a lot of space. I had a 9-hour flight of space between me and my partner.
Good for
Yeah,
you.
So
Good for you. Is that why it worked?
Yeah.
it worked because there was a time limit on it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and then he came with me for my second year, and we had a little flat. And then he went back to Calgary because he went back to Canada. He was doing a show in Lethbridge that also got canceled because of COVID.
Yes.
So
Yes.
What does he do? He's an actor?
yeah, he's a musician, actor, sound designer.
How is that? How is that partnering with somebody who has the same kind of lifestyle and, same jobs and such, same world?
On the one hand, it's nice because you never have to explain like I gotta boil a bunch of eggs and then peel them with stiletto heels on my hands. Like
Yes.
He's like, of course you do.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like there's that. There's like a common language. Financially, it's challenging because you have to balance like, well, how many contracts do we have together over the year? And so it's challenging that way because one, unpredictable income is one thing, and two, unpredictable incomes is another. But yeah, I mean, it's been great. Been together for so long. I don't know what it's like
To not.
to not.
Yeah.
How did you guys meet? I don't even know that
Ooh.
story.
We met on our first class at the University of Lethbridge. It was in Gail Hanrahan's play reading and analysis class.
Nice.
And we were literal teenagers.
Uh-huh.
And I made a joke to Camille,
Yeah.
who was also in that class, who's my best friend, and also artist. And I made a joke about Clone High, and then Greg was behind me and he laughed. And I was like, this guy.
Isn't that so funny? Like, I honestly, if a guy laughs at my joke or makes me laugh, I'm like, I'm in love with you.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's
Okay,
such a connector.
I have a question for you. Would you rather be with someone who is funny or thinks that you're funny?
If he is funny, he thinks I'm funny, so I'm going that way.
No. That's not,
Like, he
you don't
doesn't-
get
he
more,
doesn't think
you don't
I'm
get to wish
funny.
for more wishes. It's either he's a funny person or they think that you're a funny person.
I would have to say he has to think that I'm a funny person because it is actually like a core part of my personality. So I feel like if he didn't think I was funny, I would have such low self-esteem. Like it couldn't work. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if he was funny and didn't think I was funny, I'd be like, you're a narcissist. And I can't be with you.
Yeah. Yeah. So I could be with a non-funny who thought that I was funny, but I would struggle to be with someone who was also funny but didn't find me funny. I think that would be hurtful.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I've been with guys that are not funny, but laugh at my jokes. And then I'm like, oh, you're really smart. You got that one.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
The same.
Yeah.
And it's also like maybe I'm the narcissist in this situation, but I do need someone to laugh at my jokes.
Yeah.
It's a level of validation that I crave deeply. It's probably why I became a theater person.
Well, I also think that like comedy and laughing together, making each other laugh is the great friendship builder. It's the great equalizer. It's like it disarms us.
Yes.
So to have an aspect of that missing from a relationship would be, I think, really hard. Yeah. And I think like if I was with someone who wasn't funny, I would probably laugh at where's the levity.
There's
and-
always going to be
Yeah,
funny.
like it would be
Maybe
really.
it's in how serious they are.
Yeah.
Or how they take something so seriously. Like, that would be funny to me.
Yeah.
Totally. I'm also the type of person who like prefers to give gifts than receive them.
Yes.
And so I my comedy is a gift, and I want to give it to
Thank you
for sharing
the partner
it
that
with
I the partner that I go through the world with.
Yeah. I'm the same way. I love giving gifts. That's like my favorite thing. I love thinking up stuff that people will like.
Meg likes giving potatoes and potato salad. She doesn't like expectation of the potato salad, but she likes to give it.
I do like
Do you want to tell us about that? About your potato salad? Do you remember?
No.
Okay, so I went to your house to
yeah.
pick up the table for Got MILF.
Oh, yeah.
And Sonia was there.
Yeah.
Sonia DeLeo. Do you know Sonia? She was there. And we were chatting and we were talking about how we don't know if we ever want to live with a guy ever again because it's just nice to not have things expected of you. You're not expected to make dinner or expected to, like not the same every relationship. That's just like my past relationship. And then you were like, yeah, I'm like the potato woman. And I want Ollie, like if I make Ollie a potato salad, it's a gift. And then you had a potato dance and a potato voice
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything.
Because I feel like he appreciates any potato that I cook or bake, boil or mash.
Great, whatever.
He appreciates, fine, grow, whatever. Yeah. He appreciates it because it's like, it's a gift. It's not an expectation. That's the potato salad thing. And then, of course, to personify the potato and take it too far.
There was a little dance that went like this or something. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
It made me like really appreciate potatoes even more.
Yes.
It's embedded in my head.
It is.
But the gift, it's nice to not have an expectation and to do something for somebody and have them really value that and appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Big time. So what are your favorite kind of gifts to give to people?
I'm trying to move away from like physical objects and more experiences because I know a lot of folks who are like are very careful about the objects that they curate. So I don't want to burden folks with physical objects. Or at least I know that I have some friends who are like that. So I try and do like gift cards to like fun dumb things that I think they might like.
Yeah. I love that kind of stuff. I also, in the same vein, have switched to a lot more like consumables. You know? So it's like, oh, I know this person. Cannabis. Yeah. Like jam, like a homemade jam or a marshmallow or like that kind of stuff that people can consume and then they don't have a bunch of stuff around their house.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that.
I definitely give scones.
Ooh.
I'm looking at Sandy, who is our camera operator because she's one of my best friends and I always bake her scones.
Oh.
Yes.
And and when I date somebody, if I really like them, I'll bake them scones. Like I was dating this guy and I knew he was having like a rough week. So I had baked some scones and I kind of wrapped it up with a little ribbon and tied it up, and just like in a napkin, right? But I tied it up in a bow and I left it on his front step and I Nicky Nined him. I knocked on his door and ran down the street and he's like, came out and he's like, what? He texted me, he's like, did you just do this? I'm like, yeah. He's like, where are you? I'm like, no. I'm like, it's not about the appreciation of the gift. It is about you enjoying the gift. Yeah. And then so he was like, this is the best thing that's happened all day. And I'm like, that's like my favorite. And I changed the flavors of the scone, but there's like something about a scone, I just love it and I love to share it with other people. It's like, the dough is just holding the flavor of the chocolate and the fruit dough or the spice that you put in. I just love that.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Yeah. I've never had a scone that I've liked.
I was going to bake scones today, but I didn't have time.
My dad makes these weird scones that are different than the scones you're talking about.
Like the English ones, like
They're like a thick pancake kind of.
Like clotted cream you're going to use with it or something? Yeah.
He makes, and it's like a family secret recipe that as people have passed on, as they've aged into their like.
Do you have a copy?
I got one through my sister because my sister had to sit him down and be like, Dad,
you scammed a copy.
This cannot go with you.
My mom has a duck recipe that is sworn to secrecy.
How to make duck, like a grow one from birth. Isn't that just an egg? I'm being an idiot.
Anyway, we have a secret family duck recipe.
Yeah. When did you get it? Like, was there a rite of passage to get it?
I asked my mom for it, and she assumed that I was asking for someone else.
Oh.
So she was like, "Why do you want it?" And I was like, "Because I want to make a duck." She's like, "Are you sure? Are you sure you didn't ask it for someone else? Because if you asked it for someone else, you got to tell them that it's a secret and you can't have it." I'm like, "No, Mom, I want to make a duck."
Yeah.
And so she sent it to me. It's great.
Did you have to show her proof?
That you made it? Oh, did you? Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I did. I should have. But now I usually will send her a picture of it, and she'll be like, "That needs 20 more minutes."
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, it was a big deal. The secret family scone recipe was a big deal with and we call them scones. I shouldn't even say scone, call it scones. And
Do you call them ice cream cons?
no.
I still call them scones. I don't care.
Yeah.
Mine are different though.
Yeah, they are. I don't know why we just call them scones. Anyway, so he would make these things and we love them. We like gobble them up and he makes like big batches and like same thing, delivers them to us in little bags and stuff.
Aw.
And then he was like, I know, I'll give the recipe to hand them down to the men of the family. And so we were like, okay.
Brood.
You're 3 girls.
Yeah, we're like, well, okay, so you're not even going to give it to your own sons. Like, what? So then it got passed down to one of them. And then Jenny, my sister, was like, hey, Dad, like, I have to be allowed to make the scones. And then he kind of opened up about it. So I do have the recipe, but it was a long process for him to, like, figure out how he wanted that,
Yeah.
like, given to the rest of us. Yeah.
How often do you make them?
I've never made them. Yeah.
And do you have any desire to make them?
I do want to make them, but like I don't have a griddle. It's a big thing. It's a big
Yeah.
process that I'm like, I don't know. And I've never seen him do it. So
Get him to do a video for you.
yeah.
And then sell the video.
Yeah.
Millions.
Yeah, capitalism.
Secret scone recipe. Amazing.
Yeah.
But that's a really common thing for family stuff to only being handed down to the men of the family.
Yeah.
Because
Like the name?
if you hand it down to a woman, it's just going to go to a different family, and then it doesn't count.
Yeah.
So yeah, my mom was the same way of like, you know, if this was in Vietnam, you wouldn't get it. It would go to my daughter-in-laws.
Right.
So
Which is so weird. In my dad's case, he doesn't have any sons. He only had girl children.
so the
So
scone recipe was gonna.
So he gave it to someone else's son. The recipe went to another man's son.
That's breaking more.
Yeah.
Now
And
it's
then
out
my
of the blood.
sister was like, I'll take that.
Yes.
Thank you. That's what happened.
Unbelievable.
Cool. Cool.
And my dad is like not pretty patriarchal.
Yeah.
Like we worked our like coven of witches magic on him. Like he's not like that. So it cracks me up that he was like trying to maintain some, I don't know, semblance of masculine bloodline.
The-
I don't
the
know,
scone
dominance.
recipe?
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Through
what
the
he's
scone.
pinning his
Yeah.
masculine bloodline recipe.
It's fluffy scone.
Totally. He gave all the he had all daughters and then mostly grandsons. Like I have a daughter, that's his only granddaughter, but all the rest are grandsons. So they all got like jackknives and stuff like that. Like that was his like for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, the ultra masculine scone recipe.
We're the opposites. We have all boys in the family except for me.
Really?
2 brothers. I have 4 sons. My one brother has 3 sons, all male.
Yeah.
My dad's dying for one of the grandkids to have a daughter.
Yeah.
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 No, just all men.
Yeah.
Surrounded by men. All the time. I love men. I love them. But I love women too.
Yes.
Yeah, there's something that's just like,
Yeah.
I don't know. We have so much to connect on and so many little secrets that they don't understand.
I was working on a project that was about this very topic, about like what men or women, what our like lived human experiences are in this culture at this time. And so we were talking about, it was a group of women, and we were talking about what would you miss about being a woman if you had all the power that men have. And what kept coming up was friendships. Because it's like female friendships are just seem so different. Not that men don't have good, supportive friends, but there's something different.
But a
about
lot of them
female.
don't.
A lot of them don't, and it's hard for them to cultivate or activate or, So it was that kind of little sisterhood thing that I was like, oh yeah, I think that would be lonesome. I think there's lots of lonely men, and I think the mental health crisis for men is rooted in that stuff.
Yeah.
Because the patriarchy hurts us all.
Yes. If Barbie taught us one thing, it's that the patriarchy hurts us all.
Yeah.
And then we shall not recognize those people who say anything about it. That was one of my favorite things, is that Ryan Reynolds got nominated. Or
Gosling.
Gosling,
sorry.
yeah.
Ryan Gosling got nominated
Yeah.
for it, and the women didn't.
Yeah.
It's like, you must say, I'd like to thank the patriarchy for this award.
Yes.
Well, Greta Gerwig got nominated for
They did get the
screenplay or
screen
scripting,
scripteroo, the writing.
the clicky clacky.
Yeah.
Don't you write like this now?
Oh yeah, can you imagine writing a script that way?
Blur.
Or voice to text?
I would do that.
Okay, so I wrote a stand-up set. I like to go for a walk when I write my stand-up set, because usually I just get stuck in my head. And so I was doing voice to text, and it was a windy day, and I was like, had all these ideas, and I get home and I read it, and it was the most random, weirdest message ever. Nothing made sense. And then, do you guys know? Oh, I'm totally dropping her name now, and I can see her face. Sarah Hagman.
Oh yeah.
She's an actor in Calgary, and anyhow, at one point it goes, the Hagman family farm. There's no chance. And it's all capitalized. I'm like, where did you get this from? Voice to text.
Very odd.
It was very specific and nothing at all. I was doing a 420 set, like on cannabis, which I don't smoke. So I was like, what am I going to talk about?
Yeah.
Not the Hagman family farm.
That's funny.
Oh, there's probably something in there to mine.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
Okay, so do you have this on your phone? I have my phone has auto predict.
Yes.
And sometimes it is wholly unhelpful. And other times it is so helpful. So for example, if I write M-A, it automatically thinks that I'm going to finish that word with Macombe. It always suggests her name, which I'm like, I love that.
Yes.
That it loves her and it wants it to be Macombe. If I'm trying to write my own last name, which I do more,
Yes.
it automatically thinks I'm going to write the word fart snack.
I think you need
Which
to
you
change
might
your
as
last name to Fart Snack.
Yeah, fart snack.
Yeah. I think
And
that's probably the first thing
all
you wrote
one
in your
word.
phone.
It must have been
Yeah.
FARTSNACK.
Fart snack.
Is that how you spell
It's
fart
really
snack?
good.
Anyway, yeah.
That's really good.
Well,
Yeah.
I have a theory that you have to teach your phone how to spell certain words. And so I think your phone is extra proud about learning those words. So it's like,
Yes.
did you mean Macombe? I remember that.
Yes.
I need you to recognize that I remember that.
Yes, yes. And it's fart snack, obviously. Your
Yeah.
last name is fart snack. Yes.
Delicious.
Speaking of predictive text, when I was doing my master's, one of our shows was about the Eurovision Song Contest. And so so Brexit had just happened, and so our piece was like a bunch of like dummies from England wanted to leave Brexit, the UK, so that they could still be a part of the Eurovision Song Contest.
Oh, okay.
And so we wrote a bunch of songs using predictive text because all of the Eurovision songs sort of they're all like translated, or a lot of them are written with people who don't have like English in their first language. And so the prompts, oh God, I wonder if I can remember the lyrics. Dreams come true, dreams come stay, dreams are the best, and you can get your dad, your mom, get your stuff together. That was the chorus of our song. It was great. We were on roller skates. We had rhythmic gymnastics ribbons.
Amazing.
That's
was pretty
amazing.
fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so fun.
So I sent all of the lyrics over to Greg, my husband Greg, and my pal Catherine, and they wrote the music for it because they're like real musicians.
Yes, they are.
And then we performed it.
Oh man.
Do you have a video
That's
of
so
this?
good.
Or pictures?
I might have a video of the chorus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to dig. It's probably in my old like school group chat.
Yeah.
But
Sounds amazing.
I think it's around.
Yeah.
If I find it, we'll insert it here.
Yeah.
And back.
click here. Yeah.
I have ADHD. Self-diagnosed. My most annoying one, the predicted text, is every time I put my and a space, which I say my a lot, it goes to miles. Miles, every time. Miles, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, no, like, yeah, my day looks like this. Miles' day looks like this. Like, stop it, Miles, get out of my phone.
Yeah, Miles, no more.
Although I do have a sports medicine therapist, Dr. Brian Miles. Fantastic. Fantastic. And I mean that in all of the ways.
Do you require a lot of sports medicine?
I do. So I was a professional dancer.
Oh, okay.
And then I've had 4 children, so my body is like hypermobile and it will just fall apart.
I see.
If I don't like keep strength and keep my core and everything together. And so most recently my shoulder, I think it's because I do like a lot of yoga and it's just the push-ups, to upward dog and all that stuff, chaturanga. And I think I just kind of got it. And so I went to throw a rock the other day when we were skipping and I was like, ow, that hurts. So I've been doing a lot of rotator cuff, but usually it's my lower back.
Oh, yeah.
And usually it's when I have a few performances coming up. Like before we did All in the Timing and 15-Minute Hamlet,
yes, I
which you
remember.
directed.
Yeah.
My back was going out. And then I had a back-to-back play into Beautiful New City with Rogues Theatre.
Yeah.
I couldn't even stand up or sit down or walk. Like my back was so out. And it's just like, and I was going through divorce. So it's like all the spiritual stuff of your lower back is that you're not feeling supported. And I was not feeling supported in my life. And then it was just going from one show to another show. I was just overworked.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do see him a lot. And when I met him, he was just dating this woman. And I was like, and he was so buff and gorgeous. I was like, I don't think I can come here anymore. Like, you're just so beautiful. And then he got married, and I was like, oh, cool. Oh, cool. Sorry, Chad. I can totally come here now because it's like you're married, and it's like I don't know why, but I was like, that's okay. And now when he works on my arms and stuff like that, he talks about his kids. He has the funniest stories. I don't know why we're talking about my sports medicine guy.
No, it's great.
But he has this story where he has a 6-year-old son.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how he thinks he might be too hard on him because like he's really big on, you know, you've got to have manners and your mom made you this dinner. And they'd gone to Dominican Republic, so they were with grandparents a lot. So they come back and now the son is like, I don't want to eat this. This is gross. And he's like, what did you just say? He's like, I don't want to eat it. I shouldn't have to eat it if I don't want to. And he's like, all right, let's go. Runners on. He goes outside, makes him run the hill. He runs it with him. Then they have to do, he's got a loaded up hose with water. He's got to water spray down this area. And then he's got it, like all of this huge activity stuff. I'm busting a gut on the table dying, imagining this 6-year-old running like a drill sergeant thing, going all this stuff. And then they get back in the house and he's like, okay, so now tell your mom what you're going to say. And she's like, I'm sorry, Mom. Thank you for this food. Sits down and eats. And he's like, he needs it. He needs to get this energy out so that he can then be with us and be present and like he knows how to behave and whatever. And I was like, this is hysterical for this day and age to be running a kid like that.
Yeah.
Because I have a set, where I do, this guy I was dating was talking to me about how stay-at-home moms isn't like the hardest job in the world. Actually, being in the army is,
Cool. Yeah,
is the
sure.
hardest.
Okay.
And I'm like, he's not even in the army. I'm like, why are you fighting for them over me? So anyhow, I do a part in my stand-up where I then act as a parent, as a soldier.
Uh-huh. Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm like, hey, Sorrel. When the 2-year-old, I'm like, I told you to pee and poo in the potty. Get downstairs. And I handcuff him to a post and I spray him down with water. And I'm like, I'm gonna have to get my material from my sports medicine guy. Because I think he's got some real life stuff that might be better than my made up stuff. But man, are you thinking like you guys want to have kids? Do you have kids? Have kids?
We do. We're sort of child agnostic. It feels like a win-win situation.
Yeah.
Because we're very happy with the lives that we have now, but we also might. I don't know. We might. It's the thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who are you, my mother-in-law?
If you had to decide right now, and the choice had to be like children or no children.
I mean, if we want to really get into it, I never thought that I wanted children, and then my brother died, and then I realized that people are mortal, and the thought of Greg leaving this world and having nothing like left of him in it fills me with a intense fear. And so that was sort of what changed my mind on it. Yeah, and so, but it's also like I am still grieving, and so I don't know, like, don't make any big life decisions. Um, but yeah, so it's like it is a foundational thing that changed in my life that made me reconsider procreating.
It's incredible how grief changes us.
Ugh. Yeah, it's something that we don't really talk about, but everyone experiences it. Everyone had like after my brother died, I had so many people come up to me and share their own like grief stories, and it just became this. It was a double-edged sword because I was like, I just need to be sad without also being sad for you.
Yeah.
But also it was like, oh well, this person is carrying this and is fine and is moving through the world in a way that makes me feel hopeful.
Yeah.
But also, it's not about you.
Yeah. It's it's such a complicated thing because there's like, okay, we don't want each other to feel alone, so we then share these stories, but then at the same time those stories can be burdensome, and it's like, whoa, but it's a lot. But I often think like grief is the thing that gives us a true perspective on, I think, the world and our existence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a foundational change in my life that I think is probably similar to the foundational change in your life that having kids is also, but
Yeah, that's a lot. There's actually a lot of grief for having children too.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean they are like, you kind of see into the belly of our purpose. We got it's like such a comedy podcast, but like
the belly of
the
our
belly of our
purpose.
purpose is like, it's true. It's like, oh, like either one is so makes you think, I don't really need these darn sunglasses,
Yeah.
because there's just other stuff.
Yeah.
I have a couple friends whose fathers have passed away recently. Like last year, and quite a few, three friends' dads passed away. And I went for a walk with one of them maybe a month ago, and he was just so angry that people would come up to him and be like, "Oh yeah, I lost my dog," or whatever, and he'd be like, "My dad is not your dog," and like all of this stuff, right? And I was like, I could see that he just didn't want people to be like, "I see you and I feel what you feel." He just wanted to feel what he felt, and you know what I mean. But it's like you don't know that, so really, like my grandma just passed away last week, and I got the honor of doing the slideshow, which I think is like an honor and a curse, right? Because then I'm going through it with all the music. But it was kind of lovely because I had the process of saying goodbye through working through all of the photos and placing them and hearing the song. And it's like the funeral came and I still broke down. But it's like by this week, I already feel at peace with it a lot because I got to do that process. And then I know that there's going to be comedy that grows out of this and when we got together as a family, which is another reason why I was so grateful that I have children, is that my brother doesn't have kids and I do. And it was just such a comfort to have them and their stories and their memories of grandma. And I'm like, that's so sad that you don't, not that he's fine, but to me it was sad that he doesn't have that community just built in. If his wife passes away or if he passes away, it's like, not that it's done, like you've got life, you've got family otherwise, but there's something beautiful about that. Do you ever use, we're bringing it back to your work, by the way. Do you ever use your personal stories like grief or like travel or that kind of thing in your work when you create?
Yeah, I mean, I think I think it's unavoidable.
Yeah.
It's a part of who I am, and there's no separating what I've done with my life and what I make with my career. But I've never done the like one man show about growing up. Like that is not really the world that I want to inhabit. because I think there's better people to do that than me.
If I were to give you a pile of money,
Yes.
all of the money in the world,
Thank you. I'll take it.
and you don't have to use it all if you don't want to. It might actually make your heart harder to make. But you can make anything. What would you want to make?
Ooh, well, I was very lucky enough to get a grant a couple years ago and got to head up my own project for the first time. I was like in the driver's seat. So it was me and Camille. We wrote an immersive sci-fi radio play. So you as the listener become the captain of this spaceship, and there's like a mystery happening around you, and you sort of have, and it's all in 3D sound. We recorded it binaurally. And so it was like deep pandemic. So it was like radio plays, as everyone did.
Yeah.
And so that was really great. I got to hang out with the people that I love and make like scary sci-fi sounds. So yeah, I mean, but I'm not. I mean, I love sci-fi. I love genre. I would say I like making art that sort of pushes the boundaries of what we think theater is, and I like incorporating. I like mixed media. I like incorporating like new technology, but mostly I just like working with fun people.
Right.
I just like hanging out with my friends and getting paid to do it. Is that an answer?
Hello.
What's this? What's happening right now?
Yeah, but yeah, I do love fart jokes. I would say that's the thing that I'm.
Go on. And on that note,
That brown note.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Ali. That was wonderful.
Thank you.
So fun.
Yeah, I hope you get to make your immersive fart sound noises with your best friends
Hell yeah.
for millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will support that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Should we do an awkward group hug?
Oh yeah. Awkward group.
Awkward group.
Ooh, ain't it nice to be completely off time?